if you're going to use this quite a bit. Same thing. You've got a tool chest here. This has a few more tools in it to use for milling work. For one, we have a array of end mills here in 2 and 4 flute from 3/16 diameter to 3/4 inch diameter. There are collets back here that you can match up the size of the end mill. There's also an edge finder in here to find the edge of a part, center it, some other deburring tools. There's also a drill bit index in here for drilling operations. You turn this guy on, you got the main switch here on the control panel. You turn it on, you give it about 10 seconds. Then you hear the motor come on and spinning, the cooling starts. Then you can press the green button on the control panel that powers it on. As long as the e-stop button is pulled out. So the green light comes on once it's operational. You can see this coming on with speed. This again is its own separate power supply. On the back side is a switch to turn it on with. You got 3 axes here, 2 ways to adjust the Z. You got the spindle, move it up and down, you lock it in place, and the whole table moves up and down. So if you do heavier cutting, bigger end mills, you want to have a short distance between the spindle and the part you're machining. If you're doing smaller things, you can use this to bring it down further and do the milling. It just has to do with rigidity. You know, we don't want to have a 3/4 inch end mill sticking out 6 inches and you're trying to machine steel. It just creates more chatter and you might lose a bit of accuracy. Otherwise, we got the 2 axes. Once this comes on, you can press any button. There are 2 ways to set this. Right now it's set, if I press this button, nothing happens. So you press the no reference button. You want to set this to 0. When I press this button, up here on the top right hand side it says 0. When I press the button, now it zeroes it out. If I have it to set, when I press this button, I can type in what the value should be for this axis. Okay? So we got our x-axis, we got our y-axis. Oh. Then to load tooling, you find the right collet. Let's just some of these are pretty badly worn. So if you look at this one, I'm hesitant to even pull it out with my fingers. Somebody machined some steel with it, or probably stainless, and it's all gummed up and chewed up, and you know, you can probably clean it up and still use it. But stainless steel, when you machine stainless, we have to kind of slot in the stainless that we have. Come and see me before you do that. You want to make sure you run the right speeds and don't put things like this back in the index because nobody's going to be able to use it now. So I'll take this out. So typically aluminum uses a 2 flute, steel, use a 4 flute. As far as speeds, you should be able to calculate that if you've gone to the machine tool class for this program. If you need help, 1000 RPM is a good starting point for aluminum, 500 for steel. It's just a rough estimate, just a starting point. To load these end mills, you put it in here, you hold it in place. Please make sure that this spindle's all the way up. Okay, you want to have the stop against the top side. Lock it in place. And with one hand, you insert the collet, and you can see there's a keyway on here. There's a set screw in here. So you rotate this with a little bit of pressure on it until it slides in. You hold it here and you press the in button. It's going to spin it and pull it up and lock it in place. Okay? So now you can adjust it, do what you need, do your milling operations. When you're done with it, again, make sure you bring it all the way to the top, lock it in place, use a rag when you bring this back out, because we want to have the cutting edge come down in your hands when it spins a little bit and potentially cut your hand. So hold it, press the out button, and the wrench just drops out. Well, all it's doing is it's threading in a drawbar into the back side and pulls it up into this tapered collar. Actually, this is straight, this is tapered, so it pulls it and locks it in place. We also have a drill truck. So same idea, just lock it in place by turning it. Do not use this to mill. This is for drilling only. So I'm just going to show this very briefly. Once you have it locked in, if you hold the upper ring and twist the bottom part, this is secure. It doesn't unlock until you unlock it again by hand. You shouldn't have to adjust anything as far as the head. Sometimes when you trying to make something very precise, we can double check these, make sure it's the head is square to the table and all that. But Roger set that up for us last year and it hasn't changed, so I have no issues with that.